Hello, and welcome along to the stream this evening. So, where do we get to? So let's have a little bit of a recap. Hello, Maurice in the chat room there. Thank you very much. Let's have a little bit of a recap of where we are, what we're doing, and what we want to achieve tonight on tonight's stream. So, the last 4 streams. So this is part 5 of a new project that myself and Matthias Carlson, also known as Dev Lead, are working on. Okay, it's a little bit of a secret project. We're not ready to tell everyone what it is yet, still, and it's codenamed devgep at the minute. So I'm when I can, normally within a stream, I'm working on the front end website for this secret project. Matthias is working on the back end, which is all in Azure Functions, a land that I've not really played with, but thankfully he's a Azure MVP, so he knows a lot about it. And what we've been working on to date is an ASP.NET MVC website, just using the standard .NET CLI to generate that project. One of the requirements of this website that we're working on is that we should be able to authenticate using our GitHub credentials, and also that the user information should be persisted into Azure Local Storage. So the last 4 streams have really been about trying to get that to work. Now, we ran into a couple of issues around Azure Storage. The first one was that I couldn't get the Azure Storage emulator to run on my machine. Thankfully, we were able to figure that out. After that, there was some issues with the actual ASP.NET website in terms of the screens to allow the user to sign in and to allow the user to do other profile information. What we found out there was that we had to scaffold out those pages. So because we were using a new user rather than the default identity user, all of the scaffolded pages were keyed on an identity user. So as soon as we moved to a different application user, we had to manipulate those scaffolded pages. So what we found was that there was a tool that allows you to extract all of those scaffolded pages out and basically take ownership of them. So that's what we did, and that's why you'll see in this devgep site now, we have this areas section that has all of those account pages contained within them. And on Friday's show, we found that there's at least one issue with the scaffolded pages. Kim Nordmo identified that there was at least one section of those pages that are broken. I haven't dug into that side of it yet to figure out what's going on there. Because what we were also spending some time with on Friday was trying to get a build working. So the idea was that we wanted to have a build. We wanted to know when things were broken as part of our CI/CD pipeline. So I wanted to add Cake into the mix. So I am and killing things with fire indeed. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to add a Cake build into the process so that I could run the build both locally and on a CI/CD platform and make sure that things were still working. Now, what we tried to do on Friday was we tried to use a thing called cake.recipe. So cake.recipe is kind of an opinionated set of scripts that do an entire build, all the way from cleaning up the build artifacts before the build, executing the build, running unit tests, packaging it all up, whether it's a NuGet package or a Chocolatey package, and then also publishing it to MyGet and NuGet and Chocolatey and all these things. And my hope was that it was just going to work, but it didn't. It kind of failed. I kind of knew that it was going to fail, but I didn't realize it was going to fail as badly as it did. So that was unfortunate. So what I've done, what I was doing just now, just before the stream started, was I was watching Frank, who was on the show on last Monday night. Turns out he's got a stream just an hour before me, so I was kind of lurking on his stream just to see what he was up to. And while I was doing that, I've started to refactor the build. Hello, Kim. How are you? We were just talking about you. So what I've done, or where I'm getting to, is that I've removed cake.recipe from the build process. So this still says recipe.cake here, but I've actually removed the preprocessor directive from the top of nothing good, I reckon. No. I was just pointing out that you had found or identified that there was a piece missing from the scaffolded website that we've created, and we need to go back and figure out why that's broken. And where we got what I've been working on just before this stream was I've started refactoring cake.recipe. So what I don't want to do, or what I don't want to have to do right now, is create a new cake.website.recipe, because I don't want to, right? So I'm going to cheat. I'm cheating a little bit, right? So what I've done is I've removed the preprocessor directive that I had in here before, which was to download and extract cake.recipe, and I've also removed that from the tools folder where it got extracted, and I've basically taken all of the files that were in the cake.recipe content folder, and I've put it into this .build folder up here, right? So I've basically taken all those content files and I've just stuck them into this .build folder, right? And then what I've done is I've just started deleting stuff, right? And I just started deleting stuff that I know I'm not going to need because I'm building a website, and B, things that I just don't think I'm going to want to need. So one of the things about cake.recipe is that it's trying to be, and this is something that's going to change in probably the next release of cake.recipe, is it's trying to be all things to all people. And it sometimes fails a little bit because it's trying to be all things to all people. So basically what I've been going through for the last 30 minutes or so is just deleting a bunch of stuff, right? And the kind of things that I've been deleting are, I'm sorry about this, Kim. I'm deleting things like trans effects, because cake.recipe has the concept of trans effects to allow localization of a website. Now, that might be something that I'm going to need at some point, but for now, I'm just removing it. I've removed things like YAM. I've removed things like MS Test and MS Test and Fixie unit testing, mainly because I know I'm probably not going to use those tools on this thing the way it stands. So I'm basically just stripping things out, and these files in this .build folder are going to be the basis for the next cake.website.recipe that I'm creating, right? So, you see, Maurice has made a comment there that you can kill Chocolatey as well. I don't know about that yet. Now, that was my initial thought process as well, was to remove Chocolatey and NuGet from the equation, because ultimately it's a website and we'll probably be deploying it into Azure somewhere. But the reason I've kept it around is, for both NuGet and Chocolatey, is that one, there might be a DLL that comes out of this, so I may still want to push to NuGet. And from a deployment point of view, technically, I could do it with a Chocolatey package as well, but I haven't decided on the Chocolatey yet. So that's why I've left it in there, okay? Other things I've deleted, like I said, I deleted YAM because we're not generating documentation at the minute. I deleted a bunch of stuff, right? Choco package or zip file. Well, it could be either, you see, depending on where we put it. So Chocolatey can and does, because we do it on CCM, is it can deploy and configure an IIS website running under IIS and contain all the files. So you definitely can deploy a website through Chocolatey. I don't think we're going to be doing it here, but I've left it in for now, right? I've deleted Microsoft Teams stuff that was being used in cake.recipe, and I've gotten to the point where the build kind of works, right? So what I mean by that is, if I go over here and I run the build, then it won't fail, which is a good start, right? It won't fail, and it will build, right? Oh no, and absolutely not. So, but that's Maurice in the chat room there is saying, if you're deploying into Azure, I don't think you'll be talking to IIS, and we probably won't be. We almost certainly won't be. But Yeah, I've left it in. For now, I've left it in. I probably will be removing it because it won't be necessary. But, yeah, I work for Chocolatey. I'm going to leave it in. It's kind of where I'm coming from. So, the build is running in the same way that it was building last Friday when we got cake.recipe getting to a point where it was completing the build, but it didn't. I do also work for Cake, and that's why I'm using Cake to run my build. So we'll see that it did a bunch of stuff, and if we look at the output folder over here, we will see that... Oh, it didn't do it. It didn't do it now, because I've changed it. Right. So, in this temp folder... Oh, it was there. Just need a refresh. So, in this temp folder, we'll see that we've got this published libraries. Now, we said that that was wrong on Friday because it's not a library. Now, technically it is a library, but it's a website that's also a library, right? So it's publishing it to the wrong place, right? Now, what I found was, if we scroll back up here and we have a look past all these warnings, then if we look in here, you'll see this thing. So here, I'm writing out in... Oh, let me put this back a bit. Over here, I'm writing out an information line which says website in capital letters with an exclamation point. So, see, Kim, you're stealing all my thunder here. You're stealing it. But no, you're absolutely right. So what Kim has pointed out, and what I found out as I was reading through some documentation earlier, was if I walk up to my build.cake file and I look in here, then cake.incubator, which is what Kim's referring to there. Cake.incubator is it's an add-in for Cake that has some methods that will probably make it into cake.proper at some point. But the idea behind cake.incubator was that www.licious... Oh, I forget his proper name. I want to say Stephen, but I don't think it's Stephen. Anyway, the maintainer behind that project has created a bunch of helper methods that work with things like what's the word I'm looking for? Serializing or deserializing the new CS Proj format and identifying things about it. And one of the things was this idea behind, is it a web application? So the method that I was using before was, is it a library? And if it's a library, we want to do stuff. But if it's a web application, we also want to do some other stuff as well. Now, as I was going through these files that I was deleting stuff from earlier, I also found that cake.recipe... where is it? Website. Yeah, it's here, look. Cake.recipe does have the concept of publishing a website. So it has all of the paths for going to the right place. It has all the properties for where it wants to put things, but it never did anything with it. So I was never actually inspecting to see whether the project that was being built was actually a website. Now, if it is a website, we want to do some stuff, and that stuff is not what's happening just now. So right now, we are doing just a copy files, which is why we didn't get everything that we need. What we want to do instead is we want to run a .NET Core publish for that project, right? So what I want to do is basically I want to add in, so it is being identified as a library, but it is also a website. So I want to use this check. So I'm going to move this comment from here, and we'll just put this in here. And we'll do this as an else if, right? because I think I had that before. Yeah, I had that concept before. So none of these will get triggered because it's not going to be an N unit or an X unit. So those ones will, and then this will be doing a continue when it finishes. Yeah. No, I'm not finished, Bruce. I was going back. I was just checking to see where else I was at. So, if I will need this, so I'll say something like project is a web application. So let's put this in here. And then what we want to do is I want to probably do something like this. So let's copy this as well. So this is output folder is going to be build parameters, directories, published websites, I think is what it's called. Yes, it is. So let's grab that guy and put this in here. And we'll combine it with the root namespace, and that's going to be, and we're going to ensure that that exists, which is good. And then what we're going to want to do is so these are some of the internal debates that I'm having with myself, is that I don't know if we actually want this else statement anymore, because going forward, I'm probably not going to create any websites and associated projects that are not CS Proj format. So the idea of this is not necessary anymore, I don't think. So I'm going to take this out, and I'm going to take this out, because I'm not going to do that anymore, right? And that's going to be the same for if it's a web application. So some of this is going to be repeated, and it probably could be refactored as well. But let's just borrow some of it just now. Am I going to have multiple target frameworks for a website? Probably not. So that's something that let's borrow some of this and then refactor it a little bit. So let's copy this out and stick this into here. And let's remove that for each, because we're not going to have that for each. And we'll leave it just as a .NET Core publish of the output directory without the framework in there. And then target framework. Let's see what that does. Okay, so let's do this. And then let's see if we get a new folder created in here. So let's do the build again, and we'll see what happens. Let's see where we get to. So we've still got our Figlet, and that's what's showing this, kind of there. That's what's showing this ASCII art in the build output. It's a cake.figlet add-in. So it's still doing the build. It's still doing, or it's not attempting Dupe Finder, and that's what we found on Friday, which was causing us problems, and we need some refactoring. And it's still running inspect code because we found that it was building. And then what should happen is project is a web application. So now it should have created, let's do a refresh here, see if that's all it is. Haha. Now we've got a published website. So now we've got devgep site, and now we've got a thing. Right. So Brett in the chat room, what am I building? And Maurice is absolutely correct. This is a continuation of where we left off on Friday, which is to get a working get a working continuous integration build working for our website here. So at the minute, I'm saying it's going to be a CI/CD pipeline, but it... I see what you're doing there. Brett saying he was trying to lure out the secret squirrel infos. No, I'm not that much of a sucker. I have been known to be quite gullible, but I'm onto you. I'm onto you. So where we are now is we have this. So now if we grab this and grab another PowerShell session, let's go into this folder. And in theory, I should now be able to do .NET devgep DLL, and we should get a running website. Oh, there we go. Right. So now if we go back over here and we look at localhost 5001, then we get a website. Okay. So we have now got a website that is being built with Cake, which has got the start. It's got the start of a cake.website.recipe, which is specifically targeting, or the idea is that it is specifically for building websites rather than anything else. That no one should. Maurice is saying he's building this amazing thing that no one should know about, and he won't tell anybody what it is. But we know that GitHub is involved. Absolutely, that's correct. GitHub is involved. Yes. And what I will say is that there's, and I've said this already, there's some Azure functions involved too. And there may well be an ASP.NET API site involved in the mix as well. But we don't have that yet. For now, the concentration on this stream, anyway, until we get a combined stream with myself and Matthias to join the dots between the two, is just this website. Okay? So, and now Maurice has put it in my head that I should get rid of Chocolatey. So, do I want the Chocolatey packaging? Probably not. Fine, let's get rid of Chocolatey. We don't need Chocolatey. So what is this thing doing? Let's remove Chocolatey from the equation. With criteria, blah, blah, blah. Let's take that OR out of there. Don't need that. So let's remove that. Let's remove that. Okay, so that's that. Let's see what this is doing. Let's remove that. Yes, no, absolutely. So I'm removing Chocolatey, but I'm not removing the NuGet side of things. So I'm going to leave the create NuGet packages task in play, but I am going to remove the Chocolatey stuff. So this is me just pulling out all of the Chocolatey stuff in here. So we can remove the Chocolatey credentials. I've also been debating between CodeCov and Coveralls. It's unlikely, Maurice. I mean, if it's a library, in my mind, that goes to NuGet. That does go to Chocolatey. So the only thing that potentially could go to Chocolatey would be if we create a .NET Global tool. But even then, that's not that. I don't think that I don't think the premise of this recipe would be that. So I think I'm safe to remove Chocolatey. It was something I was debating before you mentioned it at the start of the stream. So I think I'm okay with deleting it. So let's take this out, and then Git Release Manager here is here, and let's delete some stuff. And I was hoping that Kim was going to be on the stream this evening to ask the question about CodeCov and Coveralls. So if we're going to stick with CodeCov, then I could probably pull out the Coveralls stuff as well. So that is pushing everything to NuGet packages, and then that's a second loop for chocolatey, so those ones can come out. So that means that this one can come out, and then create chocolate packages and publish them. Those can go away. Maybe add deletion of chocolate in a single commit. I haven't actually got any of these changes in Git yet. That horse bolted about 30 minutes into my refactoring. I had the same thought when I should have done that, but it was too late. So it's going to be an all or nothing. It's going to be an all or nothing. That can come away. That can come away. So you'll see that there's a 31 modified files here. So never mind. That's a different Gary learning a lesson there for another day. It all started with a big bang. It's one way to look at it. So while I'm deleting some stuff, I should mention a couple of things. So, let me finish that thought process and I'll come back to that again. What I was going to say was, next week on the stream, I should be here for Monday night, but Friday will not be possible. Fairly sure that Friday will not be possible. So I'm away next week. I'm away down to London again. I am going to be attending a Hack Yourself First course in London. So this is, everyone familiar with who Troy Hunt is? The guy behind the Have I Been Pwned website. So he has a colleague called Scott Helm, and Scott Helm's based in the UK. So Scott Helm has been learning the course content for Troy's Hack Yourself First course. Now, this is a course that Troy has done at places like NDC for a while now, and it's something I've always wanted to go and sit in on, but I've never had the chance. So now I've got the chance. It's coming to London, so I'm going down to London to attend this course, and I'm genuinely looking forward to it. So that's me next week. That's Thursday, Friday next week. Thursday, Friday next week. So the Friday session won't be there. I won't be here. But I will be learning all about how to hack myself first. And I'm going to have to fix that typo when I see it there. Let me change that. NuGet root path. Let's change that. It's going to annoy me. Root path is chocolate package. You can come away. You can come away. Who is chocolate package? Yeah, no, it's I'm genuinely looking forward to it. I know enough about that sort of stuff to be doing. Maurice will tell you, like when we were talking earlier, there's certain things about like the networking layer and how some of the infrastructure works I don't get. I've never had the privilege or the need to look into some of it, but I like the idea of having a little bit more knowledge about how to protect yourself from security vulnerabilities and that sort of stuff. So I'm excited about it. So that's going to be me next week. So like I say, I should be here for the Monday one, and then I leave for London on the Wednesday. And the point that Kim brought up was check out GitKraken sometime in the future. Will allow you to select specific lines that should be staged. Yep. So, see, this is where if I do this, the one that I use, it's not the most glamorous of Git tool, but if I look at my changes here, I need to update that obviously. Kim has, yeah. So what I'm going to learn in the talk or during the course, I'll then come back to this website and fix all the gaping holes that are left from a security point of view. Absolutely. So this is the tool that I typically use. Now, this one won't have any changes, but what you can do within this tool as well is you can select a change of just a couple of lines within a file, and you can hit S, and it will stage just that section. So it's a tool that's been along for a long time, this Git extensions. It's, like I say, it's not the most glamorous tool, but it does everything that I've needed so far. But I have, on that note, I have heard some very good things about Git Kraken. I haven't played with it though. So the other one that I was, so we're taking out coveralls. Is that what we're saying? We're going to leave in code cov, but we're taking out coveralls. Is that what we're saying, Kim? Because let's just strip it all down while we're here. Coveralls. Let's just tidy this up a little bit. Coveralls. That's an entire file, so that can get rid of it. Code cov. Oh, I'm doing it the wrong way. Did I just do it the wrong way? No, it's one of those things. So, cake.recipe, I think, yes, it makes sense to have both in play. I think it makes sense in this new recipe to kind of strip it back and only have one of those things available. So that's kind of my thought process, is I want this one to be a little bit more streamlined. So I'm going to have one. So I'm going to stick with, oh, it's deriving from coveralls. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's why it was there. Oh, I see. Okay, so let's just take this then. Copy. Paste. And then let's not have that. And then that's going to be... Okay, we were doing base before. So let's do code cov credentials. Let's put that in there. And let's take that out. Beautiful. So coveralls can come out. You only need the repo token. Honestly, only need to run private. Hold on. So what you're saying here was... So hold on. You only need the repo token. Is that not what I've got? You only need the repo token. Honestly, only need it on private projects or when running on Travis and AppFair. As in... Oh, I don't set the value. You're absolutely right. Repo token equals... Good catch, Maurice. Put that in there. So I'm going to take out this one. What was it? Oh, sorry. Thank you both for keeping me honest about these things. I appreciate it. So that's the coverall. Here's the coverall one here. Let's take this out. Let's see. Can publish coveralls. Take that out. Take that out. And then take that out. Getting there. So we've tidied this up a little bit. And then we don't need the coveralls here anymore. And then the overall file is going to be this one. Let's delete that. Let's save these ones, and then let's see if the build still works. Hopefully it will. We may have some compilation errors due to that refactoring, but let's just go through them that we did. So environment on line 36. So that's not the keyword shortcut that I wanted. Oh, I see what I did. I did that before. I missed my there. And then I've broken something in credentials. And then credentials.cake. I must have broken something there too. On line 91. I see the problem. Code credentials. Method must have a return type. Class. Was it just that? What I was saying was that if you're running CodeCov on a private repo or a CI that is not either Travis or AppVeyor or AppVeyor or Travis, then you need to say, okay, yes. Now that happens just because of that. So sometimes when the clean task runs, if you have the folder that's being cleaned open in the Windows Explorer, it gets unhappy and it's unable to actually do the clean. So now, in theory, yep, the one that do you use Lock Hunter, Grace? I use that all the time now. So if there's a file locked, you can actually right click on it and find out what's locking it. It's quite a useful little tool, that one. Correct. Or if it's open in one of the subdirectories that it's trying to clean, that causes problems, yeah. So if this builds, then I am happy to check some of this in. So let's go here, and then let's see what's in our output folder. So we've got our published websites, we've got our devgep site, and we've got our website that we can publish somewhere. So in here, it has all of the CSS JavaScript assets, and then it also has the compiled views, which is this thing here. Okay, so on that note, I'm going to say we're done. So this was build, add cake build for website. This is based on cake.recipe files, which were then, let's do it right there, which were then refactored to remove any functionality that was deemed as not being required for building a website. Okay, so let's go ahead and commit that. Sure. So what I was going to show, let's go back up to this one here, and let's just do a test, which is to delete that, and then we'll delete this at the bottom, or we'll add something at the bottom. What I wanted to show was what Git extensions look like. I'm imagining that the UI will be similar to what GitKraken does, but let's show what I use in here. Come on. So if I go ahead and commit now, so now it's telling me that there was a staged a deletion here and then an addition here. So what I can do here is just highlight that line and hit S. So then it staged that one section of the file, or the hunk as it's called, but it's left the other one. And then you can unstage that back in to the staging area, or you can choose to kind of do the whole file. So I could stage all of that, I could stage all of that, or I can unstage it again. So like I say, the UI it's not, I wouldn't say it's pretty, but I would say it's certainly functional. Source tree I've used before in the past as well. Yeah. Okay. That sounds plus sign. Yeah, I could see how that could work. I made a tool that uses good old Com+ to open Excel sheet and edit it, but if your application crashed, Excel wasn't closed. Oh yeah, been there with Excel tools. Oh no, absolutely. I mean, like I say, the Git extensions is I typically use it more. So let me rephrase that. Most things I do in Git are done from the command line, but having something like Git extensions, which is a reasonably lightweight tool, I use for the purposes of visualization. So I'll come in here, I'll look at the history. If I've just done a fetch, I'll see what's changed in terms of what I've got pulled in, what I've maybe pulled down, that sort of thing. That's the extent of my Git GUI usage. Most things I do from the command line or from PoshGit as it's sitting here. So let's get rid of that because, oops, I'm done with that change. Okay. It's an extent to your, as an extension to my Git arm. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So where do we get to? Where do we want to go next? So I think where I wanted to go next was I actually wanted to publish this to Azure, to actually have the site running as it even as it is in Azure, to see how we could set that up. And I was sort of hoping that Matthias was going to be on the chat room to help with that, but he's not. So we'll maybe leave that for a different stream. Where we'll go instead is we'll do some more of that. Okay. I've just seen a message from Maurice that came up on my phone. Maybe we'll come. Absolutely. The last two streams, when I've been having issues, Matthias has then materialized into the chat room and everything just starts working. His presence just makes things work. Don't know how he does it. It's annoying as hell, but he manages it. So, there was a couple of things that I wanted to look at. The first, I'm going to do it because it's going to annoy me. So let's do this. Let's go over to here and let's do .NET Watch. Ooh, I should have a .NET Watch task on my new cake, my new cake project. There's a couple comments there. As a good leader, you'll learn it. I should have a .NET Watch task added into my cake script, but that brings up a question as to whether there is a .NET Core alias for Watch. .NET Core aliases. Oh, there's not. Interesting. That brings up a question as to whether there should be. Well, thank you very much, Manfred. That was very kind of you. That's a very specific number. Did I miss something as to what the 266 is? Or is that to get you to a certain level? Oh, I see what you did. 266 brings you up to the same level as Maurice. And you've passed Matthias. I see what you did there. Well played, sir. Well played. Kim is pointing out that .NET Watch wasn't initially in the main tool, so yeah, it may not have been there. So that's maybe something that we need to get added into Cake proper. So let's do this while I'm here. GitHub, Cake build, Cake. Let's add an issue while I remember about it. New. And we'll say that this is up for grabs. Sure. Good. Is that the other one? No. What's the other one? Good. First issue. There we go. And we'll say feature. Feature. Beautiful. And we will say add alias for watch command to .NET Core aliases in the same way that we can do .NET Core build, .NET Core publish, etc. would be good to be able to run .NET Core Watch as a top level task in my Cake build script. That means good evening, Manfred. Check me in my standard grade German. That's right. It's all up there. Submit new issue. I'll add what is available when you submit the issue. Oh, that would be perfect. Thank you very much. Kim, that would be good. Yeah, because there's likely other commands that are available now since the original .NET Core aliases were added. Okay, so we can't do that, but if we go back to here and do .NET Watch run, is what we were wanting to watch on, wasn't it? Oh, but now this one we need to go into source, and then we need to go to devgep site, then we should be able to run that. There we go. So, I see I missed that one. Hoi. Hoi? Is that how you pronounce that? Hoi. In Dutch. Did not know that. Look at that. See, in Scottish, you would say, oi, as in shouting at someone, saying, oi, fit you in. As in, hello, what are you doing? Well, good to know. So if I go back to here then, and now we've got a watch running. What we found on Friday's stream was that stuff was broken. And the stuff that was broken was that this is missing an entire section on the left-hand side here, which is to allow... It's got different tabs, effectively, for managing different sections of your profile. And what we found was that there was something broken in the layout templates that were scaffolded out. So what I think we want to do, because it's going to annoy me, is we want to figure out why that is. So if we drill back down into here, what we found... So Manfred is suggesting I'd vote for a full stream of Scottish accent only. We could invite Pobby as interpreter. See, Pobby speaks an entirely different language. He speaks Glaswegian. I speak the Doric. He speaks Ouija. So I'm not sure he would be able to help, if I'm honest. But we could maybe try. And depending on who you listen to at conferences that myself and Paul have been to together, there's debates about which one of us sounds more Scottish. I'll leave it to the listener there to decide. Live Google Translate subtitles. Oh dear. Where is it you're from again, Brett? I forget. You're Englandshire, aren't you? Or are you north of the border? I forget what you said you were. Twitch Global. There we go. Oh, he's for the tune. He's for the tune. Right, where did I go? Where was I going before I was derailed with my my local twang? That we were looking at or a way to look at the pages here in the account section. So what we found was that under manage, there's a layout.cshtml, and in here it says change your account settings. And when we look at it, that's not shown. So this layout.cshtml should be getting used. But what we found was it's not rendering out this manage nav section. What it's doing instead is rendering out only this section, which is the index.cshtml. So the question that we started looking at was how or why this layout.cshtml isn't being applied to this index.cshtml. And we tried a few things where we were modifying this section here and trying to put them together, but for some reason it wasn't working. So what I wanted to look at was one that is working. So if we look under home, index.html, then there's a layout.cshtml here that is the overarching website. And this must have a render body in it, which is here. In the same way that other layout CSHTML has a render body in it. So layout CSHTML has a render body. So why, and I think what this is saying is area identity pages. See, there's no layout.cshtml in that location. There is no area identity pages. So do we need to give this one, the one that's in views shared layout.cshtml? And this is kind of where we started going round in circles a little bit last time. I think that would be needed in order for the pages to kind of go together. Now that shouldn't break anything, I don't think. But then it's still not working. So privacy, subscriptions, that's the page that we were talking about. Fine. So it's still got, that hasn't broken anything, but I think that's still needed. So the question is, why does account manage index.cshtml not have, or why is it not using the layout CSHTML. Bunch of stuff in here, but no. So is there something that we've missed in terms of specifying how they're coupled together? We do a search here for layout. What do we find? So the view start. Oh, what's this? So that's the view start. And where's this one? Oh, where's that? Oh, that's in subscriptions. No, it's not in subscriptions. I'm getting myself confused now. Hold on. So we had this one. And this one. So this is under Area Identity Pages. Area Identity Pages. And I think it's this one that's wrong. Should this one not be looking at account manage layout? Should this not be looking at account manage? That was going to be my fault. I was actually had the same thought, because this one's just got layout, right? But I wondered whether it needs to be this. Let's have a little looky here. Oh, that's taken longer. But I also wonder whether that needs a fully relative path. So that would be... So this thing here is pages. But let's do the other thing that Maurice suggested, which was this. Just to roll that out. See what that does. Ooh, look at that. So, oh no, that wasn't me, Maurice. That wasn't me, Kim. That one was all Maurice. Look at that. Look at that. I think I need to go. I'm going to go and give some virtual points away here. Let me go to Gitter. And let me go into Choco here. And where's Choco going? Let's give a little. Am I the right one? Kevin R. Plus. Look at that. Ah, there we go. Feel better now. Choco and cake. Look at that. So I don't fully understand how that works. I'll be honest. I don't know why making that change makes it work. But I'm going to take it. If somebody understands what went on there and wants to put something in the chat window, I would appreciate it. But okay, so do I need both is my next question. So if I were to undo this change, let's copy that. Let's undo this one and see if that breaks it again. Yeah, look at that. So we will. So that was. I've forgotten which file that was now. I think it's this one. I think it was this one, wasn't it? See, I don't know. That one I think is correct. That was. Oh, I forgot which one it was. I shouldn't have done that. It was view start, wasn't it? That I was playing with. No, it wasn't. I forgot which one it was. No. It's this one, wasn't it? Was it this one? I think it was this one. Yeah. It was this one. Do this and then refresh that again. Okay, right, we're not going to touch it again, right? Let's commit this while we have something working, and then we can have a discussion about which of these we want to allow to remain. So let's do a quick commit for layout. Fix showing of profile menu. Looks like the act of scaffolding the site pages didn't work in its entirety. Slight tweak of the layout was required to make it work properly. Okay, let's save that. Click. Yes, please. Okay, so you guys are a little bit ahead of me. So, okay, so what we're saying here is so there's a concept of personal data. Your account contains personal data that you have given us. This page allows you to download or delete that data. Let's download it, shall we, and see what personal data there is for Bill here. Let's see what we've got. Personal data. Open code. That may or may not work, because I've already got one running. That's annoying. Let's just, it's going to open Visual Studio, isn't it? It is. It's going to open. Yeah, it's going to open Visual Studio. Yeah, it's too late now. I'm already opening Visual Studio. I'm going to let it do its thing. It obviously wanted to make an appearance on the stream, so let's. I think you're right there, Manfred. I think you're right. Come on, Visual Studio. Really? So, Bill, username, phone number, two-factor authentication. Interesting. So I'm curious now as what happens when you say delete. What would the delete button do? Would it? Because it's not going to delete. Does it delete the account? Deleting this data will permanently. Oh, it does. Will permanently remove your account, and this cannot be recovered. Let's give it a whirl, shall we? Let's see what happens. Let's get rid of Bill. Deleting this data will permanently remove your account. Oh, let's do it. Let's see what it does. Bye, Bill. Oh, Bill's gone. Let's have a little looky. Let's see what it did. Azure. Hello. Azure Storage Emulator Explorer. I'll need the emulator first, won't I? Was it Bill Cipher? It was, yeah. Azure Storage Explorer. Let's open up this and see what's done. Let's see what's happened. I'm curious as to whether it actually nuked the account from orbit. So look. Come on. Completely random topic. Have any of you read Demon by Daniel Suarez? It's a random thought. It just occurred to me. Emulator. Tables. Oh no, which one are we using so that I don't make an assertion about source gep app settings, and it was v2. There's a film? There's a film of the Daniel Suarez book called Demon? If there is, I did not know about that. Oh, something different then. Only seen them. I see what you're saying. So the Daniel Suarez books on Audible. Just see what you're saying. The Daniel Suarez books on Audible were only available in German for a long time. I don't know why. The only books available were the German narrated versions, and my German isn't good enough to listen to an entire book in German. But recently they've republished, or they've made available, the Daniel Suarez books in English. So I've been listening to Demon, as in Daemon. It's really good. I've finished it. I'm on to the second book now, which is called Freedom. Really, really good. Thoroughly recommend it. So it did actually delete the Bill user, which is good. So let's go back and put Bill back in. Let's resurrect Bill and put him back in. So I'll authenticate with GitHub again, and I'll say Bill at bill.net this time. I'm going to register. And if we go back to the Explorer and say refresh, then Bill's in there again, look. Epic. Okay, and our profile section is still working. So I think the chat room is correct. We need to leave this data in here and the ability to delete an account. So that we need that. I do not want to have that domain getting those emails. It's one of my go-to domains. And then what have I got here? I've got a link to an XKCD, which we always have to follow. So let's go and have a look at this one. Oh, Bill drop tables. Is it that one? Yes. Little Bobby tables. It's a classic. So we need to keep this personal data section around, I think. Do we want to allow for two-factor authentication? So what does this do? Oh, hold on. What does this say? To use Authenticator app, go through the following steps. Download two-factor, blah, blah, blah. Scan the QR code. Oh, hold on. What's this doing? To enable QR code generation, please read our documentation. Oh, now. That's an interesting point, Maurice. do we need two-factor authentication for the site if we are only using GitHub authentication, which in itself provides two-factor authentication? That is a very good point. And I think you are correct. I think I'm in agreement with that. So we could take out this two-factor authentication page. So, areas, account. I say kill it with fire. I like your thinking. So let's find where the link is first. So this is going to be two-factor. Two-factor. Oh my goodness. So this page, I think we need to delete. Login with two-factor. We're not going to need that, so we can delete that one. Login with two-factor.cshtml, we can delete that one. And then in the search window. So what this is, the login with recovery code. That would be the recovery code associated with the two-factor authentication that was enabled. So that one can go away as well. So we can delete this one and this one. Right? Delete both of those. Correct. I agree. Could also be used for a password reset. This changes we will do as a commit. So if I need to get those files back, I'll know where to grab them. So this one was the link, which is the two-factor authentication. So we'll take that out. And then this is a disabled two-factor authentication page. So we're not going to need that. And we're not going to need this one. Delete that one. And then that leaves us with the download, and this is the page that we're currently looking at, so we don't need that one. Delete that. And then generate recovery codes. Well, we've just deleted the resetting by the recovery codes, so I'm fairly sure that we can take this one out too. Delete. Yoink. And then this one, two-factor authentication, blah, blah, blah. And then that's got links to recovery codes. So we've deleted those pages. So that one I think we can take out as well. So let's delete that and see what we've got now. So if we go back up to here. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Did I break something? I think I might have broken something. There we go. Okay, so that is us done that one. So I'm happy with that. And the link that we were just at, which was this one, is no longer there because, hey, see, I'm on Maurice. Had the same thought. So that page has gone away now because we've deleted the pages and it's not accessible anymore. So it's gone. It's not there anymore. So let's commit that changes. So this was layout. Let's just call it site. Remove 2 FA pages. And then let's go ahead and how do we do that thing out? Well, you say I can't do it here. Unique karma industry. So that would be a bot, right? That would be a bot that I need to add in to the Twitch chat window. There must be something along those lines. Twitch karma bot. Twitch karma service. Hold on. That's a Russian. Hold on. I'm curious now about opening that bad boy up. Now, this Nightbot was a bot that... What can I say, Manfred? This was a bot that I saw Frank using in his stream. I'm wondering whether it can be used to do karma. Commands, karma, channel commands. It's got bits and box and bracket. I don't know what any of these things do. Or is it searching for karma and it's not there? Oh, it is. Hold on. See, I would agree. It's not nice to say things that like it's not nice to have that thought is my first thought, but I saw .ru and I was a little bit skeptical about going there, and then to check counts of potential bots, that doesn't look right to me either. So anyway, Twitch Karma bot, League of Legends community, Karma chat bot. So it looks like there is something we could do there. Not just now though. So I'm gonna take a point that Manfred suggested there, that I'm being led astray. So let's do that. So I'm going to remove those two-factor authentication pages, and we'll come back to where we were. Okay. So the other thing is external logins. This is just providing a list of what external logins are used with this account. So assuming that we add in more and allow you to sign in with Twitch or whatever, then this is going to show you which ones are associated with the account. I'm imagining that it would then allow you to remove one. At the minute there's only one, so it can't be removed, but I'm imagining that there would be the ability to remove one if there's more than one. Or several GitHub accounts. I'm not sure if that would work. I don't think you could have multiple GitHub accounts on one profile. I don't know if that would be possible. You can? How would you do that? How would I log in with another account and associate it with this profile? I'm curious. Because, yeah. I don't know. I don't know how that would work. This password, I'm going to say we want to nuke this from orbit as well, right? Oh, hold on, buddy, stop it! I'm trying to get some work done here. Can you not see? Hubot Twitch. Oh. Interesting. Starting from the 8th of August, including the client in the header of all API. Now, that could be interesting in the sense that if we did use a Hubot provider for Twitch, then in theory the karma would be shared between Gitter and Twitch. So, not just now. No, we're not doing this. No, I'm saying no. We're not doing it. Maybe next time, but not just now. Next stream. Maybe not the next stream, because it's a Friday stream. It'll be longer than an hour. Anyway, back on topic. I'm saying that we're removing this set your password. Correct? No, we're not doing YouTube. No, we're not doing it on Friday. No, it would take too long. Because that would mean standing up a Heroku instance with a new Hubot instance and yada, yada, yada. So no, we're not doing that. Set your password. I'm going to take this out as well. So this is set your password. Have I forgot my password? No, because I can't forget my password. So I'm going to take that out. Delete. What else have we got here? Please check your email. Forgot password confirmation. Don't need that either. So I'm going to take that out. And then... no worries. That's not going to happen. Set password. And then set password. No, we don't need that one. Delete that one. And then the last one here, which is reset your password, can come out as well. Delete. And then the link in here is this one. And let's grab this one and go back to here. Did I not delete that one? I thought I did. Reset password confirmation. Did I not delete that one? Reset. Oh, look at that, I didn't. Delete. Let's go back to here. So we've got profile now. Oh, it's still building. Well, I saw that one. I glanced at that one. We'll come back to that one in a sec. So that's there. And if I go to here, set password, it's broken now as well, which is good. So reset. I saw that one. Or I thought I did. Reset authenticator. What's this one doing? Reset authenticator key. If you reset your authenticator key, your authenticator app will not work until you reconfigure it. This process disables 2FA until you verify your... I think you're right, we can delete that one. So let's delete those ones. And then let's do another search, which is for 2FA. Look at that. Let's take this one out. User locked out. Would we ever get a user locked out anymore? Would we? I don't know if we would get a lockout. Don't think that would trigger. I don't think it would either. Well, that's a logout. Where's the lockout? This one. That's not a bad idea, Kim. Yeah, that's maybe a good point. So bad people on the site, we could say, you're not getting into play anymore. Yeah, I like it. Let's leave that one in. So let's stage that one and stage that one and say rebase please. Because that really should have been in the last one. And then this is going to be site remove. What did I miss there? Remove password pages. These will not be required since user can't create a local account. Oh. Okay. Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to look at was advanced. Sure. Why is that now showing? There we go. Interesting. Something. So I wasn't. Well, I kind of was ignoring what the chat room. I didn't follow what was being said in the chat room there, so I kind of glossed over it. I apologize. So I'm going to take out this register page. So what have I agreed to? What have I inadvertently agreed to? Let me see. No way to type your password incorrect X times, but could be useful to manually lock out users when needed. Kind of a temporary ban. Play ... You're not allowed to play anymore was something you said. Does that not translate? I would say that, yeah, as in you're not getting into play anymore. That's something that I would say up here in Scotland. Maybe that doesn't translate well. I don't know. But was it a hint? No, not at all. That's literally something that I would say as in there's no play. Is there a play? No, not really. No, it's not. It's nothing like that. There's no game in this service. It's as in you're just not getting into play anymore. I would say that in lots of different contexts. Right, so I'm going to take out this register page because I don't need that anymore. Create a new account is on the register.cshtml. So this guy can come out. Don't want to register. Delete. And then on the login page, we decided that website's still building. We decided that we want this to be removed. So that's this one. So we still want the login page. Yes, I do need to do that. So I'm going to say that, is it an entire form? Let's have a look. So we've got login, that's an entire form. So let's minimize this guy. And then there's another section there. So this page needs some work, but let's just remove the entire div just now. Take the div out, and then let's just take out that H4 completely at the minute. Let's see what that looks like. Look at that. Beautiful. Ship it. Ship it. Register. What's that? Oh, that's open cover. Don't need to worry about that. External login. You've successfully oh, I see, okay. With GitHub. So that one we need. Let's not mess with that one. It's in this one. It's got register in it. So that li there can come out. That one. Why would you keep the call MD style? Because I'm not a designer. I'm using the default template that came with the template. So if there's something else I should be using, feel free. What should I do? I don't know Bootstrap at all. So callmd isn't used in Bootstrap 4, I think. I've genuinely got no idea. There's only one left. Correct. You are correct, Manfred. There is only one div left. So, which is what? Callmd isn't used in Bootstrap 4, I think, which is what the latest ASP.NET Core uses. So why has it got callmd then? www root. Bootstrap. Does it tell me in here what version it is? Excuse me. Bootstrap.js 4.3.1 is what I'm using here. So, yeah, I don't know. So the register, I needed that one. And then external logins. Oh, that's the list of registered logins. So that one's there. So then we've got a login now. And if we refresh this, we should no longer have the register up here. It should be gone. There we go. So now we've got devgep site. I absolutely do. Maurice is correct. She's very good at what she does, and I'm not in any way, shape or form capable of doing what she does. That's why I stick with the default templates here. So we've now got home, we've got privacy, it's got nothing in it. We've got a login, which allows me to log in with GitHub. That then comes through and gives me subscriptions, which is where Bob is. And then we have our profile that has some stuff in it. Cool. So this latest change was remove the registration page. Remove registration pages. If I could, I can ask the question, Maurice. Once we get a little further down the line, I think it would be good to have some input from someone who knows a bit more about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript than I do. So I think that would be a good idea. Yeah, I would agree with that. So let's go back to here and let's stop the watch that I've got going on, and let's just make sure that we haven't broken anything. So let's go back up here and let's do a build. So let's do, I'm seeing a new link to Bootstrap here. So we're saying that callmd is still used in version 4. Fine. I think I could do like 20% of what you do. Yeah, I think I could definitely ask the question. You could do a quick check and open Chrome's JavaScript console to see if there are any errors in the current version. I could do that too. That I know how to do. So let's do this. Let us build the site, make sure it still builds, and then we'll do what Manfred suggested there, which was to make sure that there are no errors in the console from the JavaScript perspective. I think that's a good idea. So let's let this build finish. Ooh, and then we should turn back on Dupe Finder, because some of the errors that we were getting in Dupe Finder was because certain pages had some duplicated code, and I was trying to figure out how to remove those duplications. But then we've just deleted a bunch of the pages that there was duplicated code on, so we should turn back on Dupe Finder and see what happens there. Or was that inspect code is still running? So inspect code is, I think what I need to do there is to tell inspect code to ignore certain folders, i.e. what's in the www root folder. So I need to add an exclusion for that, which we can do, because I'm only interested in it looking at pages I've got a direct impact on. So we can definitely do that. But we should turn on, like I say, we should turn back on Dupe Finder and fix inspect code. Beautiful. Okay, so that still works. So the next one was, well, while we're here, let's put Dupe Finder back on and add an exclusion for that, and then we can run. So over here, we should have, I need to remember how the format of this thing works. So if we go over here and look at github.com/cake contrib/cake.gem, and let's have a look and see what's being done in here. There we go. Let's borrow this one. Let's borrow one of these. Copy. And we're going to say that into this thing. Oh, hold on. It's already there. The formatting of this is a bit off. Oh, hold on. Formatting of this is very off. Let's make this a little bit easier to read, shall we? Let's push that over there. Push that over there. So it's already ignoring things that are in... We don't have that project. That's fine. But where I want it to ignore is anything under www-root. So I can borrow this guy, and I can put it in here, and I can say anything in source dev site www-root, and then anything under there I want to ignore. Oh, what happened there? Okay, so let's see if that makes a difference in my it's not changed at all. Did have to change something in this, yes. So what Maurice is talking about here is a site that he was showing me recently. So let's just bring this up while that's building. So Maurice has created a GitHub pages specifically for all the packages that he maintains on chocolatey.org, but also some documentation around an extension package that he's created for if you're creating a chocolatey package that mounts an ISO and installs a package from the ISO, then Maurice has got a extension package that helps with that. So this site here goes through those packages that are available and also documentation for the extension package, which is really cool. So I'd encourage anyone who's interested in having a look at that to go and have a look. So we've still got 2,989. Why is it still... Why is it still inspecting that? Shouldn't be. Did I not save the file? I did save the file. So it's the root directory path /source /devgep site /www root. Why is it not interesting? Let's do build exclusive. What's the one I'm looking for? Inspect code and verbosity diagnostic. See if that works. No, argument value is not a valid Boolean value. What does that mean? What does that mean? Why did that not work? Really? Target equals. Oh! Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I think. Target equals inspect code. I think you're right. That's going to be a ++ for Kim, I think, right there. My ringworm ++. There we go. Thank you very much. So now that we've got that, Maurice, did you just write that out? Tell the truth. Maurice on stats. I'm loving your work. I'm loving it. Loving your work. Okay, so going back to here, star. You think it's star.star? Surely not. And I do still want to try verbosity equals, because I think it should show me what it's pumping out to inspect code. Let's see what it does. And if we get these two things finished, then I think that's me for the night. So it's running inspect code, and it is executing command line tools, output, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Oh, hold on, people. Hold on. I'm changing dupe finder, but dupe finder isn't what's running. It's inspect code. So that's not going to work. Have you not heard that one either? Hold on. As in, hold on. Hold on a minty. You would say, hold on a minty. I don't know if we can exclude, because inspect code works based on what's included in the CS project file. And in the brave new world of the .NET SDK CS project file, everything's included. So can we inspect code www root folder exclude? Configuring code inspection settings. There's a file that you can create, isn't there? Toggling design. Oh, I remember. Or I remember how I've done it in the past. And that was to... Yeah. It was to set it up in Visual Studio. It generates a file and then reuse that file when it runs. And I think, if I recall correctly, if I go up to here and I look at analyzing, then if we look at the inspect code here, then it's looking for the ReSharper settings file, and you can specify in that .settings file which folders to include or exclude as part of the inspect code. So I'm not going to do that just now. Kim's saying there, Maurice, an advanced student or graduate, usually in a professional field such as medicine or teaching, gaining supervised practical experience as a hospital or a classroom. As an intern, yes. Choco install ReSharper Ultimate All. Not doing that today. No, not going to do it. I will do that later. What we will do, though, is we will go back and switch back on DupeFinder. So let's put that back on, and let's see if that builds. So we know what I need to do, so I should write that down. Where's my pen? Here's my pen. And I'm going to say create .settings file for inspect code. Right, so DupeFinder failed last time, and it failed because of duplicates. But those duplicates, I think we've just deleted them all because we no longer have them. We've deleted all those pages from the site. So let's have a wee looky. Oh, still saying that there is at least a couple of duplicates. So let's see which ones it has it. Oh, hold on. We've still got to change password. I thought we deleted all those. Let's have a little look here. Did we miss one? I think we might have missed one. Change password. We need to get rid of that bad boy. Change password. That can go away. So there's maybe still a duplicate here that we need to look at. And in delete personal data. Love it. So let's see if we fix that one. Let's run that again. How do we do it? We did it as target equals dupe finder and space exclusive. So we won't run all the other stuff. Really need to get rid of those warnings at the start as well. I should be able to get rid of some of those warnings now, because we're not coupled to 32.1 of cake anymore. We could bump to 33 and make some changes and pull in some. Yeah, might have to do some of that. Okay, so it's saying delete personal data has got a duplicate. But this takes me back to where we were. Delete personal data.cshtml. And it's saying that this is exactly the same as this. And Dupe Finder is absolutely correct. But I don't know a better way, or I couldn't think last time of a better way of writing it. Because any attempt to refactor it wouldn't have this HTTP status code not found being returned, because you'd refactor a method to give you a user, but you've already got a user, which is what this is doing. So I don't know what to do. You can do it with regions. I don't necessarily want to do that because it's a bit fugly. You can tell. I mean, I could tell Dupe Finder to ignore this file completely, which I don't want to do, or you can tell it to ignore return user not found error user new method. So let me just think about what Manfred said there. Return user not found error user. But that return, how would you prevent the return? Because if the user's not found, I would still want it to continue. So I'm slightly confused what's going on there. So let me remember how to do Dupe Finder ignore section. I'm fairly sure it's through a region. Let me have a little looky. Dupe Finder options. Fairly sure that it's a region. Exclude code regions. Allow excluding code regions that have a matching substrings in their name. Now the question is whether or not I am currently passing that through to Dupe Finder. I don't think I am. I'm not sure I understand the question. Manfred, what do you mean, sorry? If I go back to here, delete personal data.cshtml. It's here, look. Hold on, what? Notepad++? What? So Dupe Finder is here. Oh no, hold on, maybe I am. There we go. Dupe Finder exclude files by starting substring comment. Starting comment substring. You know, I think I understand what you're saying, Manfred, but so literally it's these files, it's these lines here that it's saying is duplicated. So in one of them, it's returning a not found. But in the essence, in the presence of a valid user, execution continues. So in my mind, you would create a method that is get the user, and then if it's not a user, you have to return a not found. But in the other one, you want to continue execution. So duplicate lines. Hold on, what? Oops. So this to me is as succinct as it possibly can be. Maybe? It just feels messy. But if we go down to here and have a look at recipe.cake, then there is another dupe finder exclude files by starting comments. Oh, maybe, hold on. Is that? Exclude files. That's a terrible name, whoever wrote this. Whoever did this dupe finder add-in. That was me, by the way. Cakebuild.net API dupe finder settings exclude. That's the one we want. Look, we want exclude code regions by name substring. I'd create a method that checks for a user, returns if not, and takes a delegate action. See, this seems like a lot of work. It seems like you're not wrong though. Hold on. You're not wrong. Yeah, I could see how that would work. So the question is, do I want to do what Manfred is suggesting, or do I want to make it easy on myself? Let's have another look at the duplicate and see. It's the same. So it's the same problem. It's the same problem in the index.cshtml as well. So let's just get something building. So let's do exclude code regions by name substring. We want this guy. And we need to add that into our analyzing.cake. It's too hot here to take the hard drift. So we're going to say if tools settings dot dupe finder something not equal to null settings dot this guy equals tools settings dot dupe finder regions substring. We're going to have to create a property called that, And then I think all that's needed here is a string array. Get or set a list of keywords to exclude regions that contain one of the keywords in their message. Yeah, that was too long, Maurice. That's why I didn't copy that. I was being lazy, and I can't copy that. Fine, let's do that. So we need tool settings, which is this, and then we need this public static string array that has got a get and a private set on it. And then down here, these are all optional values, so that shouldn't really make much difference. Let's put this in here, string array that equals null. I'm going to put that as a lowercase, and then we're going to say that. It's got some, do you want some default values? Maybe I have some default values, because then I would have to set it. Ooh, I like it. So let's do this is equal to this. Otherwise, it's going to be a new string array with that in it with, let's just put in dupe finder ignore. Let's try it. This is kind of hacky. Let's do it. Don't tell anyone. And in here, we're going to say, why is that delete? No, I'm hitting the wrong delete, that's why. This one, is it region there, and then we're going to put wrong one. And then it's going to be end region, right? Beautiful. Thing of beauty. Copy. And then it's going to be this one. Save that to that, and then end region. So in theory, with those things done, I should then be able to run that. It should work, he says. We should be left with one duplicate, and we can do the same change. Drum roll indeed. Dun, dun, dun. Haha! So it's just the index.cshtml that's left, which is the same fix. So index.cshtml in here, and it was lines 77 and 117. 77 down through the not found, which is here, end region, and here down through the not found, end region. I wonder if it actually had been enough to tweak the duplication cost. Gets or sets the complexity threshold for duplicate fragments. Code fragment with lower complexity are discarded. Say that again. gep13 now added a new, actually usable feature to another tool, so he doesn't have to fix his duplicate code in the original code. Absolutely. Why not? Yeah, I'm not sure what the default discard cost is. I don't actually know how to figure that out. It's not included in the... or is this... Is it this size 84? To fix it, duplicate... Yeah, sure. So what I need to do is add this back into cake.recipe. If anybody wants to... if anybody wants to send a PR in cake.recipe to fix that, or to add that feature in cake.recipe, I think that would be a useful addition. So this should work, or rather, it should no longer have any duplicates. And then, if this works, we can go back and run an entire build to make sure that everything's still working. You already build it, you should ship it. Maybe. Yes. Yes. Oh man, what was that? Oh. So this is StyleCop telling us that we shouldn't have a region. Region should not be located within a code element. So StyleCop is StyleCop is now telling us that what we've done is bad, because effectively what we've done is we put a region inside a code in a code snippet. So it would want us to put the region around the entire method or collection of methods. But at this point in time, I'm gonna have to say the StyleCop just be quiet and leave me alone. So this is gonna be SA 1123, which we don't have one for yet. Copy 1123. StyleCop, shut your pie hole. Indeed. StyleCop, just do my bidding. And if this works, so the build at least worked, then I'm going to say that's it for the night and come back to this on Friday. So I'll need to have a conversation, I think, with Matthias and see where we can get to next. Because, like I say, the the basics of the website are there. So we're logging in with GitHub. We've removed all the registration pages, change password pages. We've removed all of those. We have we've got a working build, I should say. We have now we need to start looking at that page that's just got Bob on it just now. So we need to look at starting to stub out some of that functionality, and then that might lead into a conversation about what we're actually building here. So that worked. let's see what changes we've got here. So this was site move unnecessary page, which was this one and this one. You can check that in. This was build, fix, dupe finder errors by using regions on code that we agree are not duplicates. So that was this one. That was this one. That was this one. This one. This one. And then we'll have a final one, which is... Oh, look at that. Maurice just earned a new 1000 bits badge. Look at that. Thank you very much. Build, tell, style, cop to pipe down a bit. Build. Yes. So what did that get you, Maurice? Is that where does that badge appear? Does that mean you can do? Oh yeah, hold on. What is it? Where does the badge appear? I'm curious now. Or maybe it was only on the first person that got it. I don't know. I don't know how these things work. It's greenish. Oh, yeah, so it is. You are indeed. You got a green color on your bits. Yeah. There we go. Look at that. Wow. 1000 bits. Thank you very much. Okay, so as I was saying, that's all checked in, and let's just make sure that everything's still running. So we go into source devgep site and we do a .Net run again. Let's just make sure that it's all still running, and we shall have a. I think I said 1000. Yes, absolutely. But I'm curious as to whether the bits badge was only given to you because you were first to get it. I don't know how these things work, but no, I appreciate both of your contributions to the bit collection there. It's very well received and totally unexpected as well. So thank you very much. So if I go back in here and log in with GitHub. Then we've got our subscription. So this is the section I would like to start looking at next, which is to start putting stuff in here. Now, this subscription section is going to have a list of current subscriptions, the ability to edit a subscription, the edit to delete a subscription, and then depending on how many subscriptions you have, to add a new one. And that's tying in with the work that Matthias has been doing on the Azure functions on the back end. So this is the whole point in this website, is to allow the manipulation of those subscriptions. What now? Okay, hold on. That sounds wrong. Don't forget Manfred he has 1000 as well. That sounds so wrong. You got green on your bit. I had to type something to have it show up. Don't know if Manfred did that. My hovercraft is full of eels. I'm confused. So I'll need to have a chat with Matthias to see where we're at with this part of the site. What it might mean is we might need to create the API. So we might need to start doing that work. Because, like I say, the Azure functions are all, at the minute, working on a schedule. There's no direct interaction with the Azure functions. So we might need to, well, or rather, we'll have to create an API surface that we can then call from here. So I'll have a chat with Matthias and see how we want to proceed with that, and we can go from there. So thank you all for your help. Appreciate it as always. Friday will be going ahead. And like I say, next Monday should also be going ahead, but the following Friday won't be, because I'll be in London learning about the Hack Myself First course that I'm doing down in London. So I shall say au revoir for now. Thank you all for coming, and talk to you later. Thank you very much.